Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here. We're drinking beer and play a game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 334. Thank you for joining us tonight. Speaking of joining, no guest tonight, but we have to give some shout outs. So shout out to JoJo from Toy Box Time Machine and Mike from Dongled for joining us on the last two episodes. Had a great time with both of them. Some good convos, some good insights. If you haven't listened to them yet, check them out. It's nice, convenient. The two episodes before this, just go listen. And also, as you can tell, we didn't record an episode last week. Nothing came out, but I did hop onto our good buddies over at Gamers Week, where we talked a lot about the end of Xbox. I introduced them to the Krusty Corner. They love that idea. Speaking of, there is a new one this week, so check the links below. And yeah, it was just a good old time with Ryan and Blue. Donnie couldn't be there, but we definitely have to have all of them back on our show as well, because always a great time with them.
Yeah. No, yeah, to Jim's point on Dongled, I'm sorry I couldn't meet you, bud. Gotta have you back on, obviously, as a fellow Castlevania fiend. Love to talk shop with you there. JoJo, great time. Love meeting her. We're gonna have her on again in the future. And yeah, Gamers Week. Sorry, crazy week once again. Can't wait to get back on, but having you guys on is always a blast as well. And Chambers, yeah, we had busy week last week on top of we got another whole weekend together. Got together, did some drinking, did some shooting.
Yep.
Did
Away from society.
Did some cigar smoking, and we both had very stuffy noses by the end of it. So yeah, it was a good weekend.
Right, just before we get into the good weekend, I do have to say, I had all these plans, all these delusions of grandeur. There's a new Castlevania game coming out. I booked a Castlevania-centric guest. You're a huge Castlevania fan. I'm like, look at me. I'm going to be on Easy Street this week. Everyone can just do everything for me. I can do some sound drops here and there, maybe a little bit of info here and there, and left out to dry. Now, I mean, Mike was great, but I was like, fuck, got to do everything this week now. Bastard.
I know. It's isn't that how life works?
The lesson is never try.
Jim, as it's used incorrectly in a song, couldn't you say, isn't it ironic?
It's a
But yeah, no,
But Brian,
yeah,
back to the mountains. We want to talk about throats. So my throat was mostly fine because, unlike you guys with your fancy pants $13, $15 cigars, I kept it nice and local, like the good real one that I am. Brian, man of the people, once again, picked me up a nice little 5-pack of delicious Philly blunts to take up for my cigar smoking. And look, hey, even Juan said they were good. He was like, "This is better than it should be." It's like $1.25 per cigar. It did the job. Who's the smart economist now?
But let's not act like that was a thoughtful thing you did. It was just pure laziness. You didn't want to drive the extra like 3 blocks to actually get a real cigar. You're like, I'll go 7-Eleven or a gas station.
I needed to get gas for the drive up, Brian. It just made sense. I'm a busy man.
Listen, I had the tastiest cigars. So, and Juan had the expensive ones. So, who's foolish now?
Juan?
Damn it. Well, we did accidentally, well, not we. I accidentally did give him a glass with a mouse turd in it while giving him whiskey that is universally loved, and he hated it. And he won't admit that he probably hates it only because of the mouse turd. But for someone to say they don't like Buffalo Trace is like, it's unheard of. I've never heard someone say they don't like Buffalo Trace.
That was one of my favorite interactions because he lifts it up into the light, and I go, "Oh, there's something in there." And he's like, "I think there's a turd in here." And you're like, "No, there's not." You're like, "It's just dirt." And he's like, "No, I know what mouse turds are." He's like, "There's a mouse turd in here." And you're like, "No, there's not." And I'm just sitting there all quiet like, that's definitely a fucking turd. But there is a chance that he could just keep drinking.
When he first held it up, the problem is it shook up so fast. I was like, density of mouse turd, it's not going to come up that fast. So I don't know if he shook it and it like came up.
No. That thing was just stuck to the bottom.
Well, it was until he and then like when he was cleaning it for sure. Then I said, oh, yeah. But like I said, I did clean the glasses. I just didn't see. But to his point, it wasn't at the bottom of the glass because I specifically cleaned them, like ran them under hot water because I know that's a thing in that cabin. So I was like, let me just clean these glasses because who knows what's been inside of it. But yeah, so Jim, you stuck with your silver bullets. Me and Juan had the hams. Juan got experienced the ham farts, but still, hams is just so much better. It's just it can't be touched, Jim. I know you like your silver bullets, but even you have to admit, hams is better.
I mean, I love me my some hams. Hams is great.
Yeah. What I can't wait for is, and I told you, and I think I mentioned it before. Yeah, so a bunch of shit we have to kind of get back on track with. So, first, speaking of thank yous to everyone who helped vote in the bracket for Resident Evil, thank you guys so much. The random amount of attention that got on like TikTok and excuse me on YouTube, like, thank you guys. I love the engagement. I actually do have the next bracket. I have the format ready. I have the games ready. I just need to get the footage. And I guess I'll say it here. It may be out by the time you watch this video, depending on when I release it. But talking with Jim, I'm going to do the best Pokemon game. And obviously, that's going to have a lot of opinions. I mean, Resident Evil had enough. Like, I was shocked at some of the titles that people want to die on a hill for Resident Evil 7, by the way, which I love. I love that there's so much support for that.
I was shocked by how much love that got, actually.
Yeah, but Pokemon, I can only imagine. Now, I am not a Pokemon
Right, you were
expert.
going to get screamed at for the games you leave off just before the thing even starts.
Listen,
Just be ready.
But can I say I called in an expert to help me out?
Talk to
So
Celia,
I
huh?
did. Yep, I did my own research.
I love the
Scoured.
word.
Damn it. I did my own research, but at the same time, then I went, fuck, all right, who do I know that knows everything about Pokemon? Reached out to her. I said, all right, tell me how off I am. Because I also, you have to seed the games, right? And that could be just as controversial as the games selected. Now, granted, I think there's only like 22 games,
Only.
roughly. Well, I'm saying only because I
You mean
actually
like
thought there was a lot
mainline games,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, you're getting down to 16. I'm sure it's still going to piss some people off, right? But I had her come in. She helped revise it a little bit. So I have a list that is verified by someone I know who's very much into we know is very much into those games. So yeah, we'll just see the opinions there, but that's the gaming
Blade Blur's
bracket.
throwing a chair through a window right now, hearing that.
He's like, motherfucker.
Ask me.
But yeah, I can't wait to see the opinions because I know it'll be very strong. But the bracket that I'm really interested in, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make it videos or just put them out there for daily voting on like Facebook and Twitter. For you and me, and for beer drinkers, is the best like cheap macro brew, cheap U.S. macro brew. I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah.
I had it put together and I've scoured multiple beer stores. Problem is like three of them have beers that I can't find Schlitz anywhere. I can't find there's like two or three others and I left off things like Lucky Streak or I think I was telling you about them the other day, but like there's other beers I just
Well, yeah,
left
you're
off.
looking at like Natty Bow and like Narragansetts and
Yeah, so what I envision, Jim, is I'm buying cases and six packs of this. So I already have my like whole bar filled with these beers. Once I get them all, you're going to come over. We're going to do first round blind taste test. And each of us are going to go through and blindly score and give what the best macro brew is. I'm really hoping Hams wins, but as we learned before, like sometimes ones you could probably pick out, but going neck to neck, I don't know what's going to win, Jim.
it
So
gets
that'll
confusing.
be a fun. Yeah. So yeah, no, once again, thank you guys so much. Keep coming back for those brackets. And the last thing, and Jim, I'm not going to throw it on you right now. So later in the episode, you guys stick around and find out. Once again, we are now recording March 5th. Went through a whole nother month of the daily video game music brought to us by you guys. So we gotta pick our favorites, Jim.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think to do that. All right.
So we're like I said, we're gonna do it later in the episode. So make sure you come back. But we're in March, and I love the input from you guys. I love the fact that we're now getting comments pretty regularly of like, people like, can you add this? Can you add this? And we even have people who've already submitted to us who like want to just add more. So we welcome it all the time. Keep submitting, keep watching. And, it's funny. I've already multiple times got comments for songs that we've already done. So they're already like, I already love it's like, yeah, go back and check this date. But yeah, it's still fun seeing some songs that from games I never even heard of. So keep up the submissions and thank you guys for the continued support because it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a very good turnout for that. So thank you, everybody. Everyone can get behind game music.
Yeah, but Chambers, let's get back to the basics. What are you drinking and what have you been playing?
All right, so tonight I'm already one in so far. From the good old Victory Brewing Company, I am drinking their Witty Monkey. It is their citrus wheat ale. Comes in at good old 9.5% alcohol by volume. It is a twist of citrus. Witty Monkey used his clever curiosity to reimagine a citrus wheat ale loaded with sweet orange notes. Witty Monkey is citrusy, balanced, and will have you reaching for new horizons. Brian, is it almost appropriate, given the explosion of popularity of One Punched a Monkey, that I'm drinking a monkey beer tonight?
I think it's pretty apropos.
I think that was a total accident and very conveniently done by me.
I would agree. I would say you would never line those two actions up.
How dare you, sir? I am all about prep work. But yeah, so as far as gaming goes, actually, so the last half of February was like, you know how like last year you would go through your spurts where you're like, I just want to play some DBD. Like, I went through a bunch of shit. That was me with StarCraft. So I just went in and I just played me a fuckload of StarCraft because for the most part, I would do a couple, like, a week's worth of videos on that page, Jim StarCraft Struggles, like, comment, subscribe. And, but that'll be it. No practice, never getting any better. So I'm like, I'm going to do me some practice rounds. And oh, did I get my ass kicked? I got my ass kicked left and right. I think I won like 5 out of the 20 games that I did, something like that. Like, it was brutal. But,
were most of the losses at least quick, or did they take their time?
Some were quick, some were very long. Actually, the longest video I've recorded yet for the page is going to come out, and spoiler, it's not a win for Daddy. Daddy put up a good fight, but couldn't pull it out in the end. But yeah, but no, besides that, actually, when we were up in the mountains, I need something to play while I'm pooping. So one of the games that actually wound up working.
Just pooping. You were doing it like you usually do. By the way, if anyone ever meets Jim socially, this dude cannot not be on his phone for like a period of more than 20, 30 minutes. Like he's got to check, he's got to clash, he's got to do something. He's got to do some kind of game on his phone at all times. It's crazy.
I've definitely been clipped. I've been clipped. So there's been a lot of shrapnel that has hit me. But yeah, so Slay the Spire is one of the games. Actually, Slay the Spire 2, as of this recording, just dropped today on Steam. It's like a beta build. It's $25. I'm kind of tempted to do it, but I'm also like, I can also kind of wait until the full thing comes out. So I've got other shit to play in the meantime. But yeah, it was fun to dip my toes back into it, but I realized that like in the first one, I really only liked playing as the defect, and I like completely cleared that guy. Playing as the other ones, I'm like, this is kind of fun, but like I've already kind of given back up on it. So it was nice to dip my toes back in. Slay the Spire 2 as a defect day one. He was a DLC character in the first one, so that they eventually added in. So I'm tempted, but it's not like for as much as times I put into Slay the Spire, it's not a, oh my God, I have to do it right now kind of game. But I also wound up going back into my resolutions, and I am in the JRPG sphere, Brian. And I am playing Ys Memoir, The Oath of Falagria, or Falgera. So this is part... I'm so happy that face is happening right now.
Jesus. I mean, what did we talk about? Just pick a known JRPG, not a Jimism, not a just let's go random with it. No, pick a goddamn good one, because the whole point is, can this maybe get you into that genre? So you're like, I'm gonna go with the obscure one. Damn it, Jim.
It was recommended by GameSack in one of their videos, and it only takes about 15 hours to beat, so it's not a gigantic time investment, which is right up my alley. And yeah, I'm like an hour in so far. It's pretty good. It's part of the long-running East series, which I've only very lightly dabbled in, so I've always wanted to dip my toes in the East, so this is how I figured I'd do it. It's on the Switch. I believe it's an enhanced port of a PSP game, so but yeah, so far, so good. Nice little action RPG for myself. Action JRPG, I should say.
You know I shouldn't be shocked anymore.
You really shouldn't.
I'm going to use what you say to me. You.
Yeah. You know what, Bry? I will take that. That is acceptable. That's fine.
Son of a bitch.
But yeah, that is basically been my roundup of gaming lately. How about you,
All
Bry?
right.
You piece of shit, son of a bitch.
So beer wise, I'm going with I got the Neshaminy Creek Ultra Kush Hazy IPA. I don't know if I've had this before, but like I said, I've never had a Neshaminy Creek I didn't like. It's delicious. It's only 6%, but it's one of these weird 6% that tastes more boozy.
Hmm.
And for a hazy IPA, it's got plenty of citrusy, a little bit of that dankness, but it's a solid beer. Once again, it's not my favorite from the Neshaminy Creek, but it's still good. Like I'm not trying to downplay that. While I was away for work, I was actually in West Virginia. Went to Mountain State Brewing. I had their Almost Heaven Amber, which I love. But Jim, for as much shit I don't care about, a quick thing like when I'm drinking or when I'm doing something can turn me off of the experience. Like they serve their shit in mason jars, and I'm cool with that. But when there's chips on the glass, there's something in my mind that goes, could there be glass in my beer? So as I'm sipping the beer, I'm like, could like the top rim had a chip. Now,
Oh, yeah, that ruins it instantly for me. Yeah,
it
agree.
fucks with my head, and I'm like, I know logically that chip could have happened years ago, but it fucks with me, and so it messes with the experience. I still
Yep.
finished the beer. And then I had their Seneca IPA, which was fine, very basic. Their Almost Heaven Amber, like I said, way better. But what they specialize in is pizza, and I had Fire on the Mountain, which was sausage, pepperoni, red onions, chipotle sauce, banana peppers, and a ton of cheese. And my oh my, was it delicious! But I woke up the next morning and my belly did not feel great.
I was about to say, so combining that with craft beer, you either didn't poop for 3 days or you broke the toilet.
That night it wasn't bad, which I was shocked. It's when I woke up this morning, I was like, "Ooh, Daddy don't feel too good. I need a ginger ale this morning." Like it was, yeah, it didn't feel the best, Jim. Um, but yeah, beer wise, been able to do that. But game wise, I've been killing it. But then again, I was looking at my list and I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't on last week. So a few games I've been going through. First, I wanted to hit up my resolution like you, where I do at least an hour with games. One was called Apotheon, and it's a side scrolling action beat 'em up. I don't know how else to call it, but it's done. You ever see like old Greek style art that's on vases where it's like, like I don't want to call them stick figures, but they're kind of stick figure-ish of like depicting battles or something.
Yeah.
Like just think Greek style. If you've ever seen a Greek style, and you'll know exactly the whole game is done in that art style. So it's one of these extremely unique looking games. And it takes place where you're basically a warrior his town is under whatever because the gods have punished you. Think God of War, except no powers. And after you save your town, you ascend to Mount Olympus. Now you have to go after the gods for cursing your town. But it's done in a beat 'em up style. The movement and the attacking has to be very precise, but it's just really cool looking. Don't know if I'm going to keep going with it because I want to get through other games, but I'm on like 2 hours into it. So I was like, okay, cool. On my
Sounds
Xbox, I
interesting.
fucked around with Bendy and the Ink Machine, which
I've been meaning to. I had that on Switch. I've been meaning to play it, and I was like, eh.
I, it's fine. Another one, it looks really cool, unique art style. But I've played so many of those, and I don't want to call it a pure walking simulator because there are
Is it
gym
like a
moments.
puzzle game
Like,
more, or
yeah, it's like
is it like
layers
Oddworld?
of
Or
no, it's very much like layers of fear, except because there's puzzles you're solving, meaning like, oh, get the thing for here over here. But then you do get a weapon and you do like technically fight things, but it's the combat so basic. It's really like once Bendy comes after you, you got to get the fuck out of there. Like you're not
Hmm.
fighting him, but there's other things you are. So it's fine. I just I've played so many of these and I'm like, it's not wowing me. I'll say that so far. But
You
I'm
know what's
also like
weird?
4 hours in.
It's weird for how much no one talks about that game, how much merch it has. Like if you
All the
go down
merch,
like
yeah.
the toy aisle at like Walmart, there's always like a Bending the Ink Machine toy there next to like the Lynx and like the random Sega toys that have been out for the last year. Like I'm like, why the fuck is there a Bendy toy here? Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, Logan's like, "Oh, you're playing Bendy and the Ink Machine?" I was like, "How do you know this?" He's like, "Oh, it's all over." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I play it?" I was like, "If you want." I was like, "But it's not that great, not the greatest, but you know,
This
yeah,
this is like a Gen Alpha thing that we just don't get.
yeah, I don't get it. It is what it is. I moved over to an RTS called Swarm the City,
Hmm.
on Steam, and it is something I've always wanted, which is like you play as a Dark Lord, but you basically have to start off with like in a world, a self-contained map of an RTS. You have to start a zombie apocalypse, but then you get like powerful magic and things you can do. But you always start with no one, and you have to basically infect a human and then spread like a zombie virus. But there's like cyborgs you gotta fight. It's like crazy, but it's a fairly short RTS. Really, really fun. I beat the whole game. I didn't just spend an hour, so I'm already through
Oh, nice.
that. And I fucked around with Thief Simulator, another simulator game, but as you could imagine, you're a thief. So
You don't
I
say.
actually hate the controls for it, and I've loved most simulator games I've played, but they've overcomplicated. Like you have to get in a car and actively turn the key, and every action requires too many additional steps where I'm like, I get it. Knock it off. So I'll do my hour for that one and probably stop. Um, but now, Jim, I have two new obsessions. Resident Evil
Dick.
Requiem. Damn it. Resident Evil Requiem, which as soon as I got home Sunday, downloaded it, started playing it, played it some more Monday. I love the game. I'm not through it yet, but the pacing, I'm going to say Resident Evil 6 got dragged through the mud so a game like this could walk because there's two very distinct feels here. You got the first person, very RE7, RE8 style, where you truly are kind of helpless as Grace and it's scary. And then when the Leon third person, you're like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. And I love the memes that like show it's like usually like a chick crying or trying to hide from a monster as like here's your experience as Grace. And then it's like John Wick as
Oh
Leon.
yeah,
And it's
I've seen
just
that too. Yeah.
yeah, I love it. And it really that's how it feels. Like you're like completely different styles, but it's not like six where it's like you got to go through 20 hours per campaign. So it's really, really, really well done. And I went ahead, Jim, for the first time since WWE 2K13 or whatever it is. I got 2K26 because of the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude. Um, I purchased that version, which cost way too much. But I assume this is that. Well,
Is
I
that
don't
one of like
assume
is that one of the five with like Triple H on the cover?
it. Well, I had to get digital because of course you got to get digital shit.
Right.
But I'll actually be able to play it tonight. I think it's 7 days early. Um, but what I love about it is it's like the roster's like 400 people already, and you can have 200 creator wrestlers. This will be the last wrestling game I pretty much ever get because all I want to do is recreate all the dudes from who we had liked when we were growing up, create a universe mode, and fuck around with that. That's it. I'm not going to use probably a single new wrestler. I'm just going to fuck around with that shit and call it a day. So,
Right. Is Danhausen in the game yet?
which one is that?
He just debuted for WWE. He's been around for a while.
Oh,
He's
is
the
he
guy
the
who says
guy
he's
that
going to
wears
curse
like the
people.
kiss makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking guy.
Very good,
No,
very evil.
isn't he the same guy? What was that wrestling game that was given to us and we kind of bashed it?
Oh, Retromania. Nah, he wasn't in that.
Oh no, I'm thinking Warhorse, the other painted guy.
Warhorse, yeah, he was in
Yeah.
that. It's funny
But
because like Warhorse apparently like shortly after that game like did like a whole gimmick change where like he got rid of the makeup and the long hair and he was kind of like a guy.
just a
And then
guy.
like he like even for his like indie cred he kind of fell off and then he like just recently went back to his like makeup and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know if he's in it, Jim. I doubt he's in it.
Not yet. I
But
mean he just debuted, so he'll be
oh,
DLC, I'm
okay.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah. No, so that's where I'm at with gaming shit, Jim. But
Now,
yeah.
Brian, how do you actually like the core gameplay? Because like I've been over to my buddy's place and played like 2K25 on his Xbox, and I'm there. I'm just like, yeah, this is kind of jank. Like it's stiff, little goofy. Like it doesn't have that like flow state. Like for as much as I hated AEW Fight Forever, it at least kind of nailed that simplistic kind of control that just kind of works of No Mercy. Just the rest of the game kind of sucked. Where like 2K25, I was like, this isn't really all that fun to play. It's more fun to play as everybody that's in it.
I don't know yet because like I said, I think just today I'll be able to. But I haven't played once again on the new engine, but I have heard that, and that is one thing that worries me a little bit. But honestly, Jim, like the same way when I downloaded Fire Pro and I just downloaded it, I'm actually okay. Like I kind of just want to create the universe, and in some cases I might simulate matches, and other ones I'll play if I want a specific guy to win. But like, yeah, creating a universe mode in wrestling with the ones I used to like is kind of all I'm really caring about. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see. It looks cool, but I am afraid that it's going to be a little too slow for my liking. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want to taint your expectations going into it. Maybe they improved
Yeah,
it for all I know.
yeah. But Chambers, speaking of thank you for everyone for brackets, for supporting us. Speaking of support, once again, I think last week we had, was it Blade? Was a new patron, or was that this
Yes,
week?
our good dear friend Blade Blur, he was a free member. He upped it to $1 so he can enjoy the crust. No one can resist the crust, Brian. So yes, thank you, Blade, for joining up in there. And yes, as always, you can give your support to us over at patreon.com/drink a beer and play a game, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So this week, one question comes to us from good old Chris Iozzi. Lactose in beer, yay or nay? For me, the first one tastes good, but definitely not crushable.
It's an It's funny. The best experience I've had tended to be the milkshake IPAs from Tired Hands. However, because of that style, everyone and their mother tried to create milkshake IPAs, and a lot of them are really bad. So it's one of those like you gotta kind of use really selectively. Now, the most common you're gonna get with those are milk stouts and like breakfast stouts and things of those nature, which I've had a lot of super delicious ones. And in stouts, you don't notice it that much because it's already a little sugary. But yeah, it's not a pounder. It's definitely not a it's also not summer or spring beer. Like I can't recommend it enough. Like be in a cool place, have it almost as a dessert. Don't, if you get a six pack, it'll probably last you a while unless you're having like one per night. Um, it's something I go, yeah, okay, I've had it. It's not like other weird styles like fucking oyster stouts and shit like that where I'm like, oh, like I'll try and never try it again. But I'll never go out of my way for any of these beers that have it. Because too many tend to overuse it. Then the beer is too sugary and like that's just not my thing. But when done right, it's pretty damn enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean it's a gimmick. Like you said, they're fine. When I used to get those beer of the month club boxes delivered, that's when I had like the most lactose infused beers I ever had in my life. And since that ran out like 2 years ago, I've maybe had one or two. Like if I go to a brewery and they have like a beer with lactose, I'll try one. And I'll sit there, I'll sip it, I'll go, this is all right. And then I'll just move back on to something else. It's more drinkable. It's like It's like everyone else says. It's fine. You have one, you go, yeah, okay. And then you just move on. Like, it's something that not every brewery needs to do. It's not, if you want to dick around, sure, fine. But I can't ever see a lactose beer being a selling point for like anybody in the beer world.
No, yeah, it's not. It'll be something. It wouldn't shock me if in a couple more years it's supremely rare to see. They tried it, and like I said, milkshake IPAs were hot for a minute. People are like, I get it. It's. I think they wanted that to go the way that hazy IPAs did, and it ain't gonna happen.
Never caught on. Yep. And I mean, like, yeah, like the milkshake ones, you're just like, this tastes nothing like a milkshake. This is bullshit. It's you just wind up with kind of like a little frothy, very slightly creamier
Damn it,
tree. What?
I want my beer to taste like milkshake. Man, man, man.
If you sell me on a milkshake, I expect some goddamn milkshake, Brian. I don't think that's a tall ask.
You're like Bart going to naked lunch. Man, they did talk about false advertising.
Bry, you ignorant slut. That was Otto going to Pot Palace. Learn your fucking Simpsons.
No, it was
Yes.
naked lunch. You want me to bet?
Nope.
You want to bet? What do you want to bet?
I bet we're both right. But
Hold on.
I bet I know that the blatant false advertising line was Otto at the Pot Palace.
Once again, you want to bet?
Yeah, I'll bet. What the fuck you want to bet?
Hold on. A ball tap.
Oh, fuck you with your ball tap.
It was my reference was naked lunch. I wasn't talking about your bullshit. Naked lunch.
No, see, that's the fuck you backtracking cope
No,
fucker.
I watch it. I'm telling you, I know I'm right. I just watched it and I know I'm right. I'm saying the Otto thing, I don't even know what you're talking about with Otto, but naked lunch was more when we actually watched it.
No, that the Otto quote was directly in the middle of when we watched it. The line he directly says is, talk about blatant false advertising. Like,
God damn it, Jim.
you people in the comments, even if you never commented before, you rush that YouTube video. You tell them how daddy's right.
You know who's always right when you guys do that. So
I don't even need any kind of payment or anything. I just need to be told Jimmy was right. That's win enough for me.
Well,
Brian knows I'm right on this.
No, I know you're wrong. And when we're together, I'm just gonna ball tap you anyway.
I'm gonna ball tap you back.
But Jim,
the fucking Otto one. And then I'm gonna miss and fall and shit my pants.
So who asked that question again?
Chris Iozzi.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it. And as I say every time, for supporting us, get those questions in. Raya, make sure you get in. I know you're one of our newer, bigger supporters, so make sure get in. And if you got to bank a couple questions, feel free. We always love it, and we love the support.
Damn right.
So thank you, guys.
And once again, new Krusty Corner this week, where we talk about a game that all of us boys here can relate to. Actually, all of us human people, all of us human boys and human girls, because we wouldn't be here without this game, really.
Did you need to specify human, Jim?
I am human.
What not? I am real life.
There it is. There it
fuck.
is. There it is.
Oh, you.
Erp.
You.
You.
You. All right, Chambers. Let's move on before I get the giggles. I do hate that I was, we've delayed this a little bit because obviously this came out on. We missed the whole Winter Olympics piece of this to really capitalize, but somebody sent and said this should be a sport for us to try, the unofficial Olympic sport of Wisconsin. And I'm kind of torn if I'm going to show this video because I never know what the fuck's going to get pulled.
I think a tweet like this is safe. It's not from YouTube or shit like that. So I think you're good.
Okay. So you're seeing the video. I mean, it's curling with fucking cases of beer. We got to try this, Jim.
It's perfect. Like Brian said, they put cases of beer in fucking like sterno pots. It's Wisconsin, so of course it's frozen out there. Thin layer of ice. They paint circles in there, and they're just and no brooms. So it's actually more like shuffleboard. It's like if shuffleboard and curling had a baby, because like you're not like doing the broom bullshit, but it's not the straight lines like shuffleboard. So you have a circular target, and it's awesome. And I want to play this so goddamn bad. The account that I saw it on is dudes posting their W's. It's a total dudes rock moment. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the clip as it's playing. Not much of a video watch. It's just guys going, "Oh yeah, this is cool." But
we
it
have to
looks
try
so
this.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, unfortunately, we are coming. Like next week is going to be what, like fucking 70 at some random points.
We
So
missed a
I don't
boat,
know.
Brian.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get another. But then again, with our stupid ass weather, the following week we could get an ice storm. So who knows if we get some kind of ice though? You bet your ass you gotta come over. We're gonna do it.
No, you come here. You fucking risk your life. Fuck you.
Oh, don't be such a bitch.
You have a
Being
truck. I have a Mazda.
Being a little Nance.
I have a Mazda,
being
sir.
a Nance.
You driving your goddamn truck over.
Don't be a Nance. We can do it across the street.
What's the
in
point
open...
in even having a goddamn truck? You're not gonna even fucking use it.
What's the point of having a Mazda? Period.
The elegance, the comfort.
God damn it, Jim. Supporting the commies is what you're doing.
Dude, it's a Japanese company.
Exactly. Commies.
Damn it, Brian. God damn it, Brian. Learn your Asians, right?
Don't.
What?
Don't.
What?
You know what? Don't.
What?
But Jim, I've also been toying with the idea, and I think it's something we may. I'm going to throw it out to you here. This is. Let's call it Brian's brainstorming, because this is what I hit Jim with all the time, where I just surprise him with ideas.
Oh, good.
I think this year, we're already booked for too many games. We're ready to go, and we do some pretty heavy pre-gaming, don't we, Jim?
We do. We dabble.
There's part of me. I don't know if we would get in trouble because I don't know who would actually call us out. What if we take the pre-gaming to the parking lot and do it Philly style? Even though that is greater Philly. But if we show up, maybe bring a table, maybe do some beer games. See who we can get to come out, do some flip cup, do some beer pong, do some other, any number of beer games right there in the parking lot. Who's going to stop us?
I've never, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing like security driving around the parking lot at that event, like ever. So in theory, could work.
All
Things
we're
could
talking,
work.
listen, maybe
We're not here to make a scene. We're here to enjoy the day.
all I'm suggesting, Jim, is maybe I bring my truck there. We can leave it there. We can still Uber back to the hotel and bring it back the next day. Maybe we go there, set up. People we already know will obviously be out there, but we offer it up. Say, you want a little pregame before you go in? Just saying.
Right. At the very worst of these games, like you have the bed in your truck. We don't even have to impede traffic.
That's kind of my point. I'll bring a big Bluetooth speaker. Just saying. Could be fun.
We could, you know what? For once, your brainstorm, I don't hate.
I mean, deep down, you always hate, but
I do. I definitely do.
So yeah, maybe there's too many games. Hey, what we'll have to do, we'll have to like hand out flyers to people like before you go in, come pregame with us.
We got to do it on the down low.
Yep. The party before the party, Jim.
That's goddamn right. The real party. That's what that's called.
So yeah, but Chambers, speaking of beer, and you know me, I love, this isn't even a hypothetical. I love good questions like this. I don't know if you came up with it or somebody offered it up to you.
No, I did. So the topic, Brian, as for the people at home, is called our most random drunk habit. A little bit of an evergreen topic. And I was sitting there one day, drunk, as I do, and I realized I was like, shocker, I know. But follow me on this one. Try to keep up. And I'm just like, there's always just random things that I do, but I almost do it every time I hit a certain level of drunk. So like after like the party's ended, it's time for bed, shit like that. Like,
I
I'm
can
like,
think of some things you do, but go on.
well, besides falling asleep, but besides sitting on my phone too much, but it does involve my phone. I just sit there and I'll just watch like Star Trek clips like crazy. Like I can go months without touching Star Trek, but whenever I'm drunk, all I'm like is like, man, I just want to watch the Mataru Nebula fight from Wrath of Khan or something like that. And then I'll get too into it, and then I'll get drunk, and I'll go on eBay, and I'll buy a little statue of a Star Trek ship from Eagle Moss, and put it on my work desk. I have 4 of them now on my work desk. So yeah, this is one of those random things. So I don't need your what you eat before. I don't need your liquid IV and your milk thistles. I need like the
That's you.
dump. I'm the everyman, Bry. I speak for everybody. Everyone should be doing that. But yeah, so like something so stupid and random that's just uniquely you when you hit that certain level.
Trying to think about what I can say on here. Um,
Besides saying slurs,
damn it, that's you.
wrong.
Um,
Disavow.
all right. So what level of drunk we talking? We talking you're
Bry,
happy
pick any
drunk
level.
or you've gone
Any
too
level,
far?
Bry.
Because there's different levels, Jim. I'm just gonna say there's levels.
Right. I hope to God at this point in your life you don't hit the angry drunk level like young Bry did.
You've actually think about it. Think about me in general. The angry Brian actually half the time wasn't even the drunk Brian. How many real angry drunks have you seen me?
Not too often.
Like maybe it was once or twice when we were out, and half the time it was me getting riled up by other people.
Actually, even more than half the time was people getting riled up with other people and being like, "Yeah, Bry, go get this guy."
Yeah, yeah. I okay. Well, here's a dumb one that you and I both do when we get drunk. We all of a sudden want to watch Quentin Tarantino movies, like every time. That's like I almost go to. It's like you're drunk. You're like, what do you want to do? Watch the Quentin Tarantino movie. Like
Yeah, put him pick your poison. Any of them will work.
I tend to like yeah. I have a set of comfort movies like that or Tropic Thunder or something. Like I when I get drunk, I want to do that. You eliminated picking certain foods. See, I don't have a habit like I'm gonna buy some dumb shit. Um, it's more tied to I want to do. Yeah, it's like movies would be. I'm thinking of like the dumbest shit like that, or
Like, what's something that you do when you're drunk that you never like ever think to do normally when you're sober? Not in a good way or a bad way. It's just a thing you do.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Like once I get drunk, hmm, maybe like
Ah,
text
dead air.
people that I haven't talked to in a while. Like I'm trying to think, like that would probably be a thing. Like if it's like, oh man, like I haven't talked to our buddy Matt in a while. Like I generally want to reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while. Like that's a
Uh,
very drunk Brian thing. Is like if you hear from me and you haven't in a while, it's I'm probably pretty drunk.
Yeah, you know what? That is a good one because like when I'm like all hammered and I have to take the dog for his last walk of the night, I'll just start like flipping through my iTunes library and I'll find, something from that reminds us of college and I'll text our buddy Matt or like someone else from college and be like, fucking well, playing
Yeah.
Decemberist or shit like that. So yeah, that kind of crap. But that is
Yeah, I
very
guess
relatable.
I guess sentimental and thinking of people I haven't talked to in a while. Like it's like, yeah, I'll throw those texts out. Because I get because I get it's funny. We have some friends and some people we know that, and even it'll be random friends on like Instagram where I can tell when some of them are drinking because all of a sudden I'll get like reels or certain things sent to me. I'm
You.
like, and I'll get certain things in, and I'm like, oh, I can tell. It's like, how many are you in? Like what? Like what's going? You can sometimes tell those kind of things getting sent. So
Especially when you
yeah.
get sent like 5 or 6 at a time, you're like, something's going on here.
Yeah, you know what's going on. But yeah, I think that's probably the closest like Brian thing. Yeah,
There you go. Very fair.
that'd be my go-to. Yeah,
So yeah, everyone out there listening, let us know below, for all of you who imbibe, we all have something stupid we do when we hit that certain level, and we do it almost every goddamn time. So let us know below. Fun, nice, calm, not the texting people that you regret the next day, those kind of stories. We just all
yeah.
have those little wholesome dumb things we do.
So
Actually,
Jim,
there's a good real quick sequitur. So one day I was alone in the office and there's a camera in the office given like the state of what I do. So no one was there and someone checked the cameras to see if someone was in the office with me that day. And when they brought up the camera, they just saw me playing with my spaceship going like up.
Jim.
And they're like, yeah, I didn't mean to check the camera. I just want to see if someone's there. I was like, you saw me playing with my toy, didn't you? And they're like, yes, I did.
Oh, that's a Jim thing right there.
I'm 40.
Yeah, Jim, here's one thing I'll tell you right now. Sober, drunk. You know one thing I'll never do?
Go on.
Watch the Real Game Awards.
Right, do your research, you prick. So
Oh no, no.
this
Oh, I've unfortunately been forced because it's a topic I've been forced to watch, but left to my own devices, there would be no way in hell. Last year it was a little bit of a I was almost I almost had to watch it to see like what is it gonna be. There was no way in hell I thought it would ever continue. And here we are recording one day after it was broadcast. Um, oh my. Not that I'm not going like last year was seemed like there was at least some more effort put in, I guess if you want to call it effort. Um, fuck. Like I'm someone I hate the term cringe. I don't like using it, but I can't think of a better term to use than after watching that. And it's only 35 minutes, but it feels like a lifetime. And yeah, Jim, it's I kind of was like last year mildly entertained or like the idea of like, oh, I see you like regardless how you feel about any of them. I'm not putting any thoughts into that. It's like, okay, whatever, you're getting away from the quote unquote woke shit and you want real gamers and you're not people aren't getting paid to vote, blah blah blah, all this shit. This year, just I don't know, it's just so much worse and it's so cringy and I was embarrassed watching it. Like I'm just like, oh, what are we doing? So that was my reaction. Now I know you love all these people and they're your buds, but like, what is your
all of
take on
them.
this?
All right, so I took notes as I was watching, as I tend to do. So here, the first big thing that stuck out to me was I saw a tweet going, "Real Gamer Awards are going on now," and I went, "What the fuck? I haven't heard one thing about this year's Real Game Awards." And you know me, Brian. I'm on Twitter way too much.
You're the Twitter guy.
But I have to say, like, over the last year, instead of getting mad at all the grifters and shit like that, I just started muting their channels. And it's liberating. Anyone out there who ever complains about their algorithm, just fucking do something about it. You'll be happy again. It's very easy to do. But I saw something, I went, holy shit, this is actually happening, and I've heard nothing about it. So, yep, it's put on by Side Scrollers, Stuttering Craig's podcast. Quick backstory for the people who don't know about it: they did a crowdfunding thing. You could pay to be a executive or whatever the fuck they call it, and it raised a good amount of money with the promise that eventually it would be a live show, a real Game Award show, put on a place that people could go to, and to stick it to the Game Awards and the woke and the blah and the whatever, the gay. So yes, this is the second year. You like that phrase, Bri? Whatever the gay, coin it, patent it, mine.
I don't
Vintage
hate
Jimmy,
it. I don't
vintage
hate
Jimmy
it,
right here.
you
So,
know?
so yeah, second year in a row, and again, it's a pre-recorded YouTube show. And to Brian's point, it's even lazier because at least the first time Stuttering Craig like rented out like a arcade before it opened to film his segments. This time he's literally sitting in the chair that he sits in as he records his podcast and all of his other content. It opens with I have to say, at first I was like, man, this is like a shockingly well done anime intro. It was AI, so of course it's very easy to do, but AI is getting way too scared with how good it is. But I was like, I know it's AI, but
It's well done. Like
it's well done.
the hate of AI and I'm getting to that point where like just like everything else on online gets overused, the term AI slop needs to stop. It's like it's dumb. It's
The
overused, but it's because there is enough shit out there that could be passable and scary or not, no matter how you feel about it. It's like, yeah, there's some stuff.
yeah, like there's a lot of AI slop out there. That intro, it wasn't slop. For as much as I want to bash, as much as I would be proclivity to bash this, I can't bash it. So it starts off and they give a spiel about, being for the gamers, by the gamers, blah, 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 blah. And they get into their categories. So like any respectable gaming show, their first category was best mod. And there were just two nominees, and both were booby mods. And I just went, oh no. So as the show progressed from there, so I took some notes. So Claire Obscura won like every category it was in. And this word show had the same problem that it had last year, where it's like they would name the nominees and then name the winner. But they wouldn't show
Yeah.
clips of the nominees, and they wouldn't say why the winner won. They just said the voters voted for the winner. And it's like, you could put a little more into it. Like, you don't have to put your own gameplay footage. Just stick a fucking trailer for these games. They're all recent games. Just show something to show what the game is like for the people out there and why it should have won. But of course, you don't get that. And the dick thing is, too, if you're taking this stupid award show seriously, I don't know why you would, but like, it fucks over all the other nominees because it's like there might be a game in there you would be interested in, but they just skipped over it because Claire Obscure won. They had a thing about like the best content creator, and they threw in Hassan Piker's dog, which that I have to say that got a chuckle out of me. So if you don't know, there's a big controversy during a stream with Hassan. It looked like he shocked his dog. It looked almost 99% like he shocked his dog. I don't want to get sued. I'll just say it very much looked like he shocked his fucking dog. So it was very funny that they put that in there. If I had to give one credit to this year's episode, it was very much less on the anti-woke side and just more on the anti-establishment side. Like, they didn't go into like the bad journalist of the year shit for the easy Alyssa Mercante dig. They didn't go into like the most, whatever category this and there. It was very tame as far as the anti-woke bullshit went. Like, they spoon-fed a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows hate in there still because they couldn't help themselves. And like, Stellar Blade was nominated like a bunch of times, and it's like, fucking those games from 2 years ago. Like, you literally started the show saying you wanted the games to be from like all of January 20 or all of 2025. That's why you did it in 2026, and you put fucking Stellar Blade in there. Why? And then yeah, like the Lady Desiree who did the piano tribute to Halo 3. That was fucking great. Very talented woman. So I mean, I guess go check her out. And yeah, they put a little Highguard trailer at the end. So just the same way Jeff Keighley did. So that was very funny. And I was also like, oh, fuck, they had Lady Decade do this? Like, no one's heard of her since her goddamn controversy and shit like that. So I guess that's where you can find her at this point. But yeah, like Brian said, it was a lazy disaster. The defense, because a lot of people obviously went, wait, I thought this year was supposed to be like a live award show. What the fuck happened? And they went, well, like some of the people from Side Scrollers went to a Dave and Buster's where they played the pre-recorded thing in the background and then just kind of hung out with people. So that counts. It's like, that doesn't fucking count. That's not what they sold you on. That's not what they took your money for. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the worst cope I've ever heard. But yeah, that was the Real Game Awards 2026, which currently sits at 8.3 thousand views after a full day of being up. So it has already gone the way of no one knew and even less people care.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you obviously hit way more detailed. Like I said, I just found it, as you said, it started the way it did, and I just went, come on. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I guess there's a, a niche and a whatever for everyone. But this is just so maybe they should use AI to write their shit and get better jokes. Like I don't know what the issue is, but like I just yeah, it wasn't for me.
Oh yeah, I
Obviously.
mean, they left it to like most of the content creators there were about as small time as we were, with the a couple exceptions of like Very Dark and Smash JT and shit like that. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best for all the little skits that people did during their things. The ones who played it straight, I thought were better. Like, just play it straight. It's fine. Like, none of us are comedians here. But in a weird way, like a lot of people who like would have bashed it anywhere, like, man, this is somehow worse than last year. And in a weird way, because it was less ham-fisted in their culture war shit, I actually enjoyed watching this one more than last year's. Just because, like, I think there's a place for an anti-establishment award show. I
Sure.
think that's a good idea. And this was a lot closer to that than just like the Woke's Mad bullshit fest of last year. This still wasn't great, and it was not what people paid money for. But it's like if someone else put something like this together with like just a pure intention of not industry bullshit, it's something I would love to see.
I mean, honestly, like I think of it like the Razzies, right? Not exactly in the same vein, but like there should be a Razzies version of the Game Award.
Yeah, I
Show the
agree.
worst of the worst, you know, like, and I looked at that as always kind of anti-establishment.
Yeah.
So,
And then you have the people to win you over, like the big names that come up and show up and be like, yep, fuck that one up.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's how you win people over.
But that's the problem, right? Like in this day and age, the games that do fuck up, unfortunately, tend to be tied to whether you like it or not. It's like they're labeled woke or it's political or it's whatever. And it's like the Razzies would be kind of what he's trying to do, but without trying to set the agenda so much.
Right.
So, like, I agree with you. There's definitely a niche for this. But yeah, maybe it's like it's kind of like when you see a movie that's it's so bad because they tried to make a good movie and they just failed versus we know we're making a bad movie and we're in on the joke and then it really makes it bad. Like, don't be in on your own joke. To your point, like some of them that were playing, like these presenters that were playing it straight, that was more palatable than like, don't try to be in on the joke. Play it for what it is. Let it be what it is. So, yeah,
But yeah,
but I
so
hadn't heard shit about this.
no, I mean, and you know what? We're going to be probably one of the like some are going to talk about it after this. By the time this was releases, we're going to be like the probably the last people to talk about it because no one's going to fucking care at this point. Like, you know, the 2024 anti woke, you know, that big push, like no one cares anymore with all most of those content creators. Real Game Awards. You know what? I'm just shocked I didn't hate it as much as I did. Honestly, I was just like, I don't fully hate this. Do I just like
Like,
everything bad?
you
Is
do.
this?
We've established this, Jim. Like, you are the Madden curse. You are the Jim curse.
I
Like you're
I
picking music, you know? It's just
I'm kind of retarded.
damn it, Jim. Damn
what else
it.
can I say?
Well, I mean, here's a game you probably would have loved. What happened to Highguard, Jim?
Right, I have 7 days to play it, but the reason I have 7 days to play it is because one, Jeff Keighley, the Dorito Pope himself, the man who let this be the closing segment of this year's Game Awards, the Game Awards, not the real Game Awards, Brian. Come on, there's only room for one real Game Awards over
Yeah.
here. But so, and he's been his biggest defender too on social media. Like he legitimately seems to like the game a lot. But Highguard did not reach expectations. It's been a complete disaster since its release, and it will be shutting down as of March 12th, 2026. That will be a full 45 days of like actual release for the game
We talked
before
about
being
this
shut
game
down.
before, and I said I didn't hate how it looked. Obviously, never played it. I know it's received a lot of hate. Is there is this company that did it? Did they do Concord?
No, no, no. So everyone's comparing it to Concord.
Yes.
Um, and it's like, look, Concord was, people forget Concord was such a big disaster because it had full Sony funding, hundreds of millions of dollars. It was included in an Amazon documentary about game development. Like they had all these series planned for it. Like Sony was going all in and canceled it after a week or a month, whatever the fuck it was. So Highguard is a disaster. Don't get me wrong. It's not quite on the level of Concord, but it's like a double-edged sword because like the fact that it was the closing game of the Game Awards put such a spotlight on it that its
Mhm.
failure is obviously a thing that everyone's talking about. But if it didn't have that push, maybe at best a third of the people would have ever known it even existed. So
Well,
it's
that's
like
what I'm still trying to understand. Is it just that it's just like that unplayable?
it's not a. You know what the problem is, bro? It's not. From what I hear, like I haven't played it. The most I've seen people say is that it's just too generic and too late for its own good. It doesn't do anything to set apart from the other hero shooters, like the hero team games, looter shooters, and it's
Yeah.
just like it's another in an already beaten to death genre that came out like 3 years too late. You look at the characters, they don't look bad, but like you look at the main picture of it, it's like nothing there isn't anything you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and it doesn't look bad. It's just there. Everything about Highguard is just there. And poor Jeff Keighley, he is just getting raked through the mud of people going, "Oh, you push this fucking bull." It seems like he legitimately liked the goddamn game. It seems like he legitimately cared about it and was excited about it and wanted to help it out. And he's getting
Yeah.
raked through the coals for this bombing, which was no fault of his, but like he's taking the brunt of it. And it's just like, man, sometimes okay, yeah, he runs his own video game award show and he gave it a push. It's like he doesn't deserve to hate. Like, why is a guy trying to help a game getting all the hate? What the
That's
fuck?
what I'm trying to understand. Is he like, has he always just been this hated?
Ish, kind of. I mean, like he's kind of a dork. So like he's the face behind the video game awards, which like, it gets crapped on every year, but everyone watches it every year. Everyone talks about it. Everyone cares about who wins. So it's like, you know what?
Here's a real question.
You know
Is
what
it
he is,
just
Brian?
racism because he's
Brian,
Canadian?
Brian, shut your whore mouth. I mean, that is a good point, and we should hate him more for being Canadian. But he's like, you know what? He's like the Joe Buck of like video games and like
Yeah.
video games media. It's like he's the guy who's one of the biggest faces out there. He's like Strowman King bred. He's as generic and flavorless as you get, but he's there, but he's just does his job. He just wants to do his job.
He's
Everyone
Cyclops.
shits on him for doing his job. Yeah. You know what? He's Cyclops in the movies. Cyclops in the comics rules, but in the movies, yeah. He's James Marsden in in X-Men 3. Like he's that level.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I don't get the hate, but it's easy to bully the nerd, right?
And how? Whew, man, good thing I didn't have to deal with that as a kid. Oh boy.
I mean, listen, without knowing, and I hope this isn't a soundbite that ages poorly, without knowing Jeff Keighley, like, and not really hearing any crazy controversies, yeah, he just seems like a nerdy dude, but not a bad guy, right? Like, he's just
No,
a nerd that's easy to hate on. I would say he's still better than someone who tries to compare Resident Evil to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
but Bry, who would ever be crazy enough to do that?
Your buddies over at Polygon, Jim.
And speaking of buddies, good old Giovanni Colantonio. Man, could you just put more Italian onto that name? Jesus Christ.
I, you know, there's something about drawing correlations, and it's like your level of horseshit when you would talk about art back in Drexel. And
I was very good at that.
there's it's like, I guess if you were challenged to like, how could you possibly compare Resident Evil to like a true terrible incident? And we're gonna give you an incident and you gotta draw a correlation. That's kind of what this article felt like, because most of you probably aren't going to go read this, but from Polygon, it's a Resident Evil Requiem review, but he's drawing comparisons.
Right.
Because
Don't sum it up. Give the people what they want. So, allow me.
Go on.
Last year marked the 80th anniversary of the atomic bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It doesn't sound right. Something so barbaric feels like it should have happened centuries ago. And yet, it's still recent enough that tens of thousands of survivors still live among us today. Known as hibakusha, these individuals still carry with them the physical and mental scars of an unfathomable tragedy. They are both reminders of the evil mankind is capable of, and living proof that, against all odds, good people can still hope to push on in the face of it. In his own world, Leon S. Kennedy is a survivor too.
Did you ever
Proceed.
hold on. Did you said you did or didn't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I watched I watched the whole like first 2 seasons and a bunch of random episodes here and there.
Okay. So like one of the episodes, like Larry's at somebody's house and he finds out, hey, a survivor's gonna be there. And so he brings his dad's friend who was a Holocaust survivor. And when he gets there, he finds out the survivor they're referring to is someone who was on the TV show Survivor. And the dude starts
I
arguing
never saw
with
that.
and he starts arguing with the Holocaust survivor. He's like, you know how tough it was being on that island? And like they go back and forth. And so when like that comparison, like I'm like, dude, like why would you even think to draw this once again, unless you're doing it almost as a skit or a joke, or you were challenged, like, can you make a comparison here versus like just review the fucking game? Because then he goes on to like, okay, then he actually talks about the game, goes through it, but he drops in little nuggets here and there and still tries to tie it back to this fucking realistic terrible event. And he's like, Leon Kennedy knows what it's like. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, it's hilarious. And also just like, I just can't tell. Like, is he being serious or is this kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't, Jim. I just can't. No.
Right. Look, we've all fallen into the trap of complaining about video game journalists. And they've had their foibles over the years. Some people go out of their way to cheer on when these gaming outlets fail and go under and people lose their jobs. Bri, I never want Polygon or Kotaku to go out of business. I love them. I'm never more entertained than when one of them takes himself a little too seriously in one of the worst ways possible. Bri, we've gone through the George Floyd PS5 video or a review. We now have the Hiroshima and Nagasaki Resident Evil Requiem video. They're the best, and I love them, and I never want them to leave.
And there's like the people who take the time to actually comment on a Polygon article. The fact that there seems to be a decent amount of people attempting to defend him is they're like, people don't get the art of storytelling. It's like, motherfucker, no. Storytelling is fiction or whatever. It's like he is comparing a fucking bombing of 2 major cities to a video game.
Now, Brian, does Hiroshima and Nagasaki really compare to the bombing of Raccoon City, though? Like, let's put this into perspective here.
I mean, Leon knows exactly how they feel, Jim. He knows.
He does.
He carries the scars with him, just like the real people.
Some could say he's got the pass.
I just wait. A little peek behind the curtain. When Jim writes in the articles, sometimes he'll just be, here's a direct article or here's a thing. He wrote Polygon's hilarious RE Requiem review. And I was like, I don't even know what this could mean. And then I started reading it and I went, oh my God. I was just like, no. And here we are, Jim. Here we are.
Right. That's called show production right there, baby. That's what
it's see, like, I feel like I could hit you with a challenge like this. And I'm going to be like, Jim, compare X Tragedy to this game. And I bet you could come up with some similar bullshit.
So to go back to Brian's point about like art projects back in college. So in our humanities class, they were like, go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, pick a piece of art and write, I forget even what the fuck about it. So
just basically interpret a piece of art and say what it means to you.
So me being the 5D chess thinker that I am, I went to the modern abstract art section, and there's literally a room just filled with squiggles. Squiggles as far as the eye could see. Just a guy with a fucking paintbrush going up to a canvas and just going, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I would pay attention during that class, one of the few I did, and the teacher would make Rush quotes. I happen to be a fan of Rush myself. So not only did I go back and go, I know exactly where the fuck I'm going with this. I went to the modern art room, wrote down the name of whatever the fuck bullshit piece of squiggles I found, wrote my paper out comparing the madness and of this art to the hustle and bustle and feeling like a cog in a small world in a modern city. Compared it to a Rush song, and that was the easiest 10-minute A plus I've ever had in my life in any schooling event. That's what I knew. If only my powers were used for good, Brian.
And that's where I was like, damn you, Jim. So
That was one of the first big damn yous because that was very early into our friendship.
there was a lot of damn yous, but that one I was like, really? And that dude ate it up like nothing. There's a nickname for me, Jim. It's Brian bullshit. People tend to forget the Jim bullshit.
I'm a sneakier bullshit, Brian.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're there. You're a snake in the grass bullshit.
I'm almost Cosmo Kramer-ish without the incident, as we can say, where, sometimes I just fall ass backwards into success. I don't know how I do it. I wasn't trying to. Things just happen sometimes.
I hate it, Jim, but it is what it is. I'm trying to figure out a way to have you give a like I want to start having you give like clippable moments that I can just turn into clips, and I'm gonna say in 60 seconds compare this to this, and I'm gonna give you two really like a really terrible topic to a game, and I'm gonna make you do a 60-second summation of how it's the same.
Fuck, goddamn, that could either be my finest hour or the biggest disaster of all time. Either way, it'll be great for the fans. But
Oh yeah. But Chambers, this one was actually I'm a little shocked because I started seeing people posting a whole bunch about this is why Sony doesn't want their games on PC anymore. And they showed Spider-Man like being modded on PC where Venom was like flying through the air and it looked fucking awesome and the like graphics were crazy. But the first link comes from Blue Sky, but the second link you put was from Bloomberg.
well,
And it's basically
the second link is the full Bloomberg article. Jason Schreier is the. I linked the Blue Sky article or quote from Jason Schreier. He works for Bloomberg, so one you can see the quick snippet, or you can read the full article. There you go.
yeah, and I read the article and it's just basically saying Sony is pulling back PlayStation games from PC because what was it, 3-4 years ago when they started releasing some of their big, like, Last of Us and God of War came to PC and PlayStation people started freaking out. Like, once again, exclusivity, blah, 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 blah. And what this article basically is saying is they were getting poor sales on PC, and in some cases, the fear was they were starting to pull sales from PlayStation, and it also starts to kind of take some guesses at like the reasoning, with Xbox possibly coming out and they're going to use Windows that could play PC games. There's fear of like, could you be playing a PlayStation game on your Xbox because it's using the Windows platform and somehow, there's a whole bunch of shit like that. I think it's because PlayStation, like in the war of consoles, like is still the powerhouse of a console, not counting PCs, obviously. And PC is going to outperform. And that's why I said some of those games are getting mods created to it that are actually making games look better. They're running better than PCs or on PlayStations. And my guess is Sony don't like that one bit.
You know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with what you originally alluded to, and once again, to quote The Simpsons, the almighty Allah. I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think PlayStation is scared of Microsoft at all. The
Oh, no, no, no.
Xbox
I want to be
brand.
clear. It's not that they're scared of Microsoft. It's they don't want the possibility of they are losing sales from them because somebody could have a modded Xbox running Windows that somehow connects to Steam or something, and now you're playing PlayStation games through your Xbox.
So Okay, which is fair, but I do believe it's probably just a money thing. So, like you said with Spider-Man 2, a huge hit for the PS5, sold tens of millions of units. On Steam, it came out as a buggy mess and it sold 800,000 units. The other big releases that they have done on Steam, uh, like they half-assed it because like they put God of War like 2018 on there like 4 years later. Like they would put eventually like they would put a lot of big name games on there eventually. And now they're not putting like Ghost of Yotei or shit like that on there. And like there's been a few successes. Like if you Google like PS5 PC sales of PS5 games, it comes down to like Helldivers 2 was a good success with 12.7 million sales, but PC releases have generated more than 1.2 billion in revenue, but the sales of PS5 games have not been as lucrative. It's a trial, and basically like the novelty of PlayStation games being there, like it wore off. Like people with a PS5 want to play their PS5 games on a PS5. Sony's been very good about building that kind of environment for themselves, and it's like, yeah, I think it just comes down to money. They're just like, we're not making enough money off this. Fuck it. Well, and you know what? Honestly, with like the threat of the Steam machine, the Switch 2's out there, whatever the fuck Microsoft does, who cares? They're a dead brand anyway. But I also saw a random tweet. I don't know how accurate it is, but Sony also, like, as an overall brand, makes a split of money off of games sold onto the PlayStation branding. So they want to encourage just straight up all the sales being under PlayStation so they keep more of the revenue, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess they make more money off that than they have been making off porting games and taking that little bit of royalties off the PC market.
But what I don't get is like, I get not releasing on a PC for a while, but like the delayed release, like Last of Us and God of War, were already out for long enough where it's like, are you really losing things on that? Like, I mean, I guess in theory, but like, I don't know, it doesn't it open up your audience, and if people get really hooked and they were like, fuck, I really want to play a new one, but oh shit, every time PlayStation releases it, I might have to wait a year or two. So now let me go get a PlayStation and play it new. Like, I don't know, isn't new eyes on shit better than not playing it long term?
I mean, in theory, yes, but Sony's doing just fine and they've
Yeah,
been,
well, that's what I mean. They're not hurt. They're not in a spot where they have to. So I guess, yeah, they pulled the plug. They got to make their money, Jim.
you know what, Bribe? They do have to make their money. So, unfortunately for them, they don't make money off of used game sales. But you know what you get from used game sales, Bry? You get some gold, and you get this week's weird gaming item, and you get perhaps one of the most brutal items that we have ever seen on this segment. So the game in question is Final Fantasy 12. No, Final Fantasy 13. Sorry, ignorance let me on the PlayStation 3. And this special one is being sold in the UK for £8. But the price isn't the question, Brian. It's what's written on the game. And what's written on there is for my girl and my world, love from Jamie XXX. Damn.
That is, man. I that's heartbreaking to see that. Like, like that's gifted, the note. And it's like, I don't even know what I want GameStop to do or whomever like is reselling this, like put a sticker over it. Like, that's rough, Jim. That
Right.
is a
Right. There is a sticker on it.
there
A
is
sticker
for
that
sure.
says recycling, trade it in, or save or get cash. So
And,
you
and what
could it's encouraging you to recycle this game for some kind of monetary reward. Someone's heartfelt gift, probably bought at launch for the love of their life that they knew would just love to play the newest Final Fantasy game, reduced to the used game bargain bin that might be more worth it to just recycle it. Ouch.
here's the ultimate kick in the nuts. What if you're that guy who gave that game and you go in and you see that? If you were him, let's put Jimmy in this position. If you were him, would you buy it just to get it off the shelf and then like
Oh,
burn it immediately?
oh, I 100% would buy it, and I would just, I would buy it. I don't know if I would burn it. It would probably just go on the shelf. Like, no, fuck you, bitch. I got this for you. It's mine now. Like, I would keep it out of spite. I would not burn. But what would be worse, Brian? To be the guy who walks into game like the franchise in the UK and sees it on the shelf, or to be the guy scrolling through Twitter one day, haphazard, enjoying the banter of the day, and all of a sudden seeing your heartfelt gift to your one and only at one point in your life, circa 2011, and just go, what the fuck?
Well, let's expand that thought, Jim. If that were you and you found that on Twitter, because you're a Twitter guy, and it's hitting 1 million views, do you try to capitalize and like almost comment and be like, fuck, that was my game? Or like, do you just pray that Jamie doesn't call you out as the one who gave it to her? Like, do you want to stay anonymous or do you want to like almost try and bring because you're gonna get roasted either way, but you're also gonna get a lot of sympathy, right? If you call yourself out as like, fuck, that was me. So do you go the sympathy card or do you want to stay anonymous and act like it's just you just pray you never get called out?
Right. You don't spend as much time on social media as I do without the eternal quest for clout. I would I would dig through my files because God knows I would have a picture somewhere of me giving this or preparing it, something or other to prove that it's mine. I would put something up there to be like, yeah, that was me.
um
Shameless, Brian. Shameless.
yeah, that's fuck, that was a heartbreaking thing. You know, it's well here you know what I don't like, Jim? I don't like all the dudes talking shit. Like a dude bought his girl a game that he wrote a note and it wasn't even it's okay. We've all said some dumb shit to our girlfriends. Like, you know, like it is what it is. But yeah, that's rough one,
Yeah,
Jim.
there's a lot of people in the comment section who have never written anything to a woman.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, no, I feel for that dude. Here would be the ultimate irony if they ended up back together.
Oh wow, that would be some shit, wouldn't it?
Like,
Yeah, what if it was just like
2011? It was like a breakup. She's like, "Fuck you, I'm selling your stuff."
yeah,
Eh,
actually it might be earlier. I think Final Fantasy 13 was like 2008 maybe. It might even be earlier. So yeah, what if they like just like got married, had a good life, and just wanted to dump some shit that they had that they never touched anymore, and now everyone's roasting his poor fuck, and he's just like, dude, I've been married with like kids for years. Like I don't give a fuck about this game.
yeah.
I wanted to get $10 off my PS5. Like shit.
Like I think we've talked about it before. I mean, I used to love back in the day, if you bought like a used PlayStation game and somebody had like their folded note paper with all the cheats on it still in there, you're like, oh, this is like awesome. Like it feels so personal to find shit like that. Or think about how many like instruction books that would have note sections in the back and people actually wrote in that shit. Like
Yep.
that's a little, you're never gonna get shit like this digitally, Jim. This is a story. This is something interesting. You know,
This is
it's
why the all digital future sucks. You're not going to get gold like this.
it does, Jim. It definitely does suck. But yeah, no, I love that as a weird gaming item. So, dude who wrote that,
The name is
hope you
Jamie
move.
Bryan. Respect it.
One is the person he wrote it to Jamie, or is he Jamie?
Fair. True.
That's what I
Jamie,
don't know.
Jamie, if you're out there, you let us know.
Yeah, I actually assumed he was writing it to Jamie.
Oh, I thought Jamie was the writer.
Love from oh no, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Love from Jamie. So girl, whoever you are, you bitch.
Godless hussy, you unappreciative whore.
But Chambers, as promised from the beginning, let's take a look back at February. Had a lot of great picks. And as you'll see moving forward, because we're getting so many requests, I can really start limiting how much Jim and I put our picks in there. And that's really what we want. We want to hear more from you guys anyway. But Jim, let's start with you. What is your favorite pick, not from you, and then a favorite pick that I chose this in the month of February?
I gotta pick one of your bullshit picks. All right. You know what? The one that came out of nowhere probably impressed me the most is something I've never heard before. Gotta shout out our boy Zwick. That Laser Disco Inferno from Mullet Mad Jack, a game I never heard of, but the soundtrack was awesome. The graphic style was fucking sweet. So like, it definitely looks like a boomer shooter, but with more control. But it had that kind of speed element to like the old Dooms. So it looks like a game I would actually like to fuck with. But like, that music was awesome. The art style was awesome. Like, that was when I was just like, oh shit, like I would actually want to try this after seeing this.
Nice.
As far as your picks go, so you know what? I gotta go with the nostalgia here, Brian. I'm going with Lullaby for a Dead Man.
Good old Call of Duty Zombies.
The first Call of Duty Zombies map, the one we played infinite hours of, just burned into my brain, gave me the feels. Like, for as good as Silver Surfer is with the Fallen Brothers, you know what? I actually didn't have WrestleMania 2000. I only had No Mercy. But,
Really?
I
You never had that? Oh,
never
wow.
had it. Yep. So, but yeah, like Donkey Kong Country, like, you can't go wrong there. But God, that first Call of Duty Zombies, what a life experience that was.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is I right away when we started this, that was one of the first songs I picked. I was like, oh yeah, like I gotta throw that in there because I feel like not enough people. It's funny, some of our friends messaged me like, oh fuck, that brought me back, and I was like, yep, that's what it does.
As it should.
Yeah, when I think of my picks, it's really tough because there's a part of me because two of our friends picked it, Nerdy Nick and Super Nintendo. Yeah, fucking at Doomsgate. When I think of Doom soundtrack, my mind goes immediately to that. And yes, I've heard it a million times. Yes, I've talked about how much I love it. I did like Hornet from Hollow Knight that Pam picked as well.
Great pick.
I was kind of like you, that Laser Disco Inferno. Didn't know about the game, didn't know anything. I loved it. So it's really tough for me, but I think I'm gonna stick with At Doomsgate. Like that's almost like to me an unbeatable pick, and so many people actually have picked it even since then, and it was gonna be on my list. So I have to go with that. And as far as you, I feel the same way nostalgia when I hear Los Angeles from Twisted Metal 2. I'm so tied to that. I recognize it'll probably be the best song you pick because it's best composed, The Resurrection from Brian May. The only reason I can't pick that is because I'm still butthurt over it being copywritten every fucking time we've played it.
Did the short get copyright too?
It didn't. Luckily, it didn't. So,
oh wow. But here's the thing. You want another thing to be pissed about? You can't just download that song off iTunes. The album isn't on there for some reason. Like you can search and it comes up, but it's not available for download. So I'm like, motherfucker, I just want that song on my goddamn phone. God damn it, Brian May.
So yeah, I can't pick it for those other reasons. So I have to stick with your Los Angeles from Twisted Metal 2. I mean, I think it's probably the best track on Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
At least it's the one I remember the most because it's funny. After you picked that, I went on a binge listening to the other ones, and I like them. They're all fine, but yeah, also LA hits just a little better.
Yeah, like Holland is kind of burned into my brain. Russia a little bit, Hong Kong a little bit, but like it's all about Los Angeles. Probably helps it's the first level, no matter what. But I can't help it. Beat in my brain.
Yeah. But yeah, so next month, I mean, you and I will have significantly.
How the fuck does Shadows of the Empire not get more goddamn love on any of these fucking platforms? One of the most loved Star Wars games of all time. Classic song.
It's loved by you. And
no. People love the Hoth battle. People love that level. It's all they talk about with Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, but there's now Hoth Battle's been done so many times to death and done so much better. Listen, this isn't even a typical gym. I mean, this is a typical gym. You're loving a bad, like you're nostalgia
Don't
for
you
that
call
game.
me loving a bad pick. Don't you fucking dare.
But it is a bad pick, you know?
You son
Also,
of a
I
bitch.
did love, and it wasn't done on purpose. There was just a string of N64 games done, like Star Fox, Super Mario, that. And then I broke it up with John Riggs' pick, but then I had mine. I was like, I didn't even do that on purpose. Like the way I organize like my selections are kind of random, but like it just so happened to fall that way. I was like, huh, son of a bitch.
Big month for the N64. And yeah, for anyone who puts their game selections in here and suggestions, look, we're going to try and get to all these. We're not ignoring anybody. It's just we had so many from, direct friends of the show at first that like, we'll eventually get to you. We just have a lot of shit to get through.
Yeah. What I try to do, because I've seen a lot of comments and some folks are like, oh man, can you put it? It's like, I'll try to squeeze it in and then push somebody else's stuff that might have already like we do have some friends that might have given us multiple selections. So I'm trying to push some of their stuff down and get to like a newer person as much as possible. But I also have a lot of things like already selected and sometimes recorded or footage. So yes, if you give a suggestion, trust that it will get there. Unless for some reason we really get inundated and we run out of time throughout the year, but we'll get to it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have 215 picks from people, not us, already. So
Yeah.
we have more than 2/3 of the year already like covered. So,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
We'll get to it. And we, like I said, we thank you guys again. We love that you're supporting us, watching along with us. Keep it up. It is fun for me to just see these selections. I said there is potentially other weekends, although I doubt there'll be another weekend where Jim and I are both away from internet. Like that's why I had to kind of preload some of these for certain days. And if you watch on Instagram, obviously, like sometimes you may just miss them if we're away from internet. But otherwise, YouTube and TikTok, I can at least schedule the shit out. So, Chambers, how was your witty monkey?
Very tasty. I was tempted to do a pause to grab another one, but I'm like, 3 10%ers might be a little bit of a risk before I have work the next day. So, but no, it's a very solid, citrusy wheat ale. It isn't overpowering with the citrus. So if you don't like citrus as much, it gives you that little flavor, but it's not just like, booming in your face. So it's not overly hoppy because it's not a, Northeast IPA. It's just a wheat ale, but there's still something a little thicker about it maybe than I would love. Like 2, I think is the perfect number for it, but solid brew.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Chamonix Creek, the Ultra Kush, once again, didn't blow me away, but still good. So I've never not recommended anything from the Chamonix Creek, and I think if you like their stuff, it's quality wise good, but like maybe I just had too many hazies at this point that this one is just kind of falling with the rest of the pack. So with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. Make sure if you are watching on YouTube, hit the notification bell, subscribe, leave us some comments, let us know what you like and didn't like. And if you are listening on Podbeans, iTunes, or Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, and we'll read each and every one of those comments on these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.